The Middle East is not exactly known for their amazing human rights. In fact, they are more known for the exact opposite. Which is why this latest announcement should not shock you at all. 11 Saudi Arabian princes were recently detained after they were caught protesting at the royal palace in the capital of Saudi Arabia, Riyadh. The princes were reportedly protesting certain conditions they did not like, such as having to pay for their own utility bills, the cutting of subsidies, the value-added tax, as well as the cutting of perks for royal family members. It was a bid to deal with the large budget deficit the country is facing in the face of falling oil prices. On Thursday the princes came together at Qasr Al Hakam Palace, where they began to demand the rescinding and cancellation of the recent provisions. Specifically, they wanted the payment of water and electricity bills for royal family members to be reinstated. As well, they wanted compensation for the prosecution and death sentence of one of their cousins, Prince Turki bin Saud al-Kabir, who was prosecuted in 2016. The public prosecutor released the following statement saying, despite being informed that their demands are not lawful, the 11 princes refused to leave the area, disrupting public peace and order. Members of the security services stepped in to restore order and the princes were arrested, the public prosecutor's statement said, without identifying the princes. Following their arrest, they have been charged on a number of counts in relation to these offenses. They are detained at Al-Khair prison south of the capital pending their trial. The Daily Mail reported. News website Sabq earlier identified the leader of the group of princes by the initials SAS. The Saud al-Kabir branch of the House of Saud descends from a cousin of the late King Abdulaziz, who founded the modern kingdom. The meteoric rise of 32-year-old Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the king's favored son, and his ambitious, sometimes aggressive, policies have caused rare tensions within the royal family, which for decades favored rule by consensus. Dozens of princes, high officials and senior businessmen were rounded up in November in a crackdown on graft that has boosted Mohammed's power. They have been held at the five-star Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Riyadh while government officials negotiate financial settlements, asking them to hand over assets and cash in return for their freedom. The roundup followed a meticulously planned palace coup in June through which Mohammed ousted his elder cousin Prince Mohammed bin Nayef as heir to the throne. CNN reported, the princes were being detained at Al-Khair prison south of Riyadh, the capital, pending trial. No one is above the law in Saudi Arabia. Everyone is equal and is treated the same as others, the statement said. 2 months ago, authorities arrested dozens of royals, businessmen and senior government officials as a part of a corruption crackdown. Those detained included the former head of the royal court, Khalid al-Tawjri, and Saudi media mogul Walid al-Ibrahim. The investigation is being overseen by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who was appointed head of a new anti-corruption committee hours before the arrests began November 4. The royal decree said the committee was needed due to the propensity of some people for abuse, putting their personal interest above public interest, and stealing public funds, and will trace and combat corruption at all levels, according to the release. More than 200 people were questioned at one point, officials said then. One of the people who was questioned and released was son of the late King Abdullah, Prince Mu'tab. An undisclosed financial settlement was agreed upon. The government said at the time it expected to release more people as other settlements were reached. Saudi officials estimate that corruption and embezzlement has cost the kingdom at least $100 billion over decades. The Crown Prince has already introduced sweeping changes including subsidy cuts, new taxes and the lifting of a controversial ban on women driving. Also this week, King Salman announced new cost of living allowances for military personnel, government employees and students, the state-run Saudi press agency reported. Government employees will receive a monthly cost of living allowance of 1,000 riyals, $266, for 1 year. Military personnel serving in the Saudi-led coalition fighting in Yemen will receive a payout of 5,000 riyals, $1,333. These protests are coming now that the government of Saudi Arabia is working to create economic and social change like they never have before. Their change comes at the same time the government is dealing with a $50 billion budget deficit. In the past, they were able to rely on the income from oil exportation to spend lavishly and maintain the country's standard of living. They were also able to use that money to subsidize the royal princes and their extravagant expenses. But not anymore. The clampdown on extravagance has led to protests, which has led to 200 officials being detained by police. Included in the group of people is one of the king's sons, former National Guard Chief Prince Mohammed bin Abdullah. He was released shortly after when he agreed to pay the government $1 billion. The social changes being brought about include a ban on women driving being removed and plans of licenses being issued to women for cars and motorcycles being drawn up. As well, starting in 2018, women will be able to attend sporting events in national stadiums in the country. And movie theaters shut down in the 1980s are coming back. Change is coming, and whether the extended Saudi royal family likes it or not, that change is not going anywhere. It is simply going to expand. Follow us on Facebook at Freedom Daily.